So excited.
Our 11th stop was to Santorini, Greece. This was definitely the most highly anticipated stop, and it did not disappoint.
We're going to climb that mountain.
Our day started with a 45-minute trek to our Airbnb, and this was a lot of fun because for the most part our travels had been in big cities with really good public transport systems. So getting to walk along the side of the road and through the back alleys of a little town was really enjoyable. It felt a lot more exciting. The white buildings, specifically the churches with the blue domed roofs, were absolutely beautiful. Wherever you looked, the view was just amazing. Before we headed into Fira, I explored our village around the Airbnb and discovered a church with a very cool view of our little town. We tried to take the bus into Thira, but public transport was not on our side, so we ended up Ubering. When we got there, we went straight to see the Caldera view, which was absolutely breathtaking. We also went around town, explored some small shops, and ended up getting some barbecue for lunch. We had some gyros, which were absolutely unreal. We walked along the coast, taking in the views while trying to decide what to do for the rest of the day. We ended up settling on trying to figure out how to take the bus to Ia, which was on the northern part of the island. Ia is known as having some of the most iconic, gorgeous caldera views. Our plan for the following day was to actually hike from Thira to Ia along the coastline. It was a 10-kilometer hike, and we were really looking forward to it. Once we finally found the bus and got on the correct one, we headed up the eastern side of the island, where we got to see some more Greek architecture as well as some farmlands. The island was pretty small, so this drive essentially took us from the middle of it all the way to the top of it. We went to a place called Amoudie Bay so that we could go swimming and cliff jumping. In order to get there, we had to go down a very, very long staircase, which happened to have a bunch of donkeys on it.
Oh yeah, that's sick. Yeah, what a shitty life. Oh, don't get me. Oh, one of them's kicking. Everyone laughed, man.
Yeah, you know me. Real comedian. Man of the people. Why are they all down here? Why is that one guy is... Yeah, one of them is laughing, no lie. But it's just like a hallway of dump.
The cliff that you can see people standing on in this video is the one that we jumped off of. You had to swim over and then climb up the staircase of an old abandoned church and jump off the top of that, which was pretty cool. Here you can see me and then Keshaun and then Sean jumping off of the cliff. It was quite the rush, and I'd say that it was probably the coolest spot that we'll ever go cliff jumping. After we finished getting some jumps in, we had to make the trek back up the hill to Ia.
How's the hill? You're not tired, are you?
No. I could do double that. Plus fucking run this shit.
Romy really wanted to have a rooftop sunset Caldera view while we were having dinner, so she had actually booked this place months in advance, and we still were only able to get a table of 2 and a table of 3. The view was absolutely uncomprehendable. The water, the mountains, the sunset, it was just absolutely gorgeous and definitely one of the most enjoyed meals on the whole trip.
Oh, that's a sick roof right there.
After dinner, we headed home to get prepared for our big hike tomorrow. We were really excited for this hike because it promised to have some amazing views. I was also really excited to get to climb Skyros Rock because that is actually where the first settlement that was ever on Santorini was. This is us on Skyros Rock. It sticks out from the middle of Santorini, so you get amazing views back at the Caldera as well as along the entire coast. Sadly, Panit did not join us on the hike as he wasn't feeling great, and Romy was planning to meet us at our final destination of Ia.
This one looks like it's really painted.
It was super hot out, which made the hike slightly difficult, but overall we had a really good time. It was 10 kilometers, and by the end we were definitely a little tired, but the views were so worth it. As we started to walk into Ia and rejoin civilization, we found Romy, who was enjoying the view, having breakfast at a restaurant. I rewarded myself on a hike well done by trying out a local brewery's IPA.
IPAs I'm used to, but
While Romy and I enjoy this nice sunset, a little story time. So Sean and I were trying to take the bus back to our Airbnb after we had done the huge hike and walked all over town. So we were pretty exhausted. Anyways, we ended up getting on the wrong bus, and had to walk an hour back to the Airbnb along the side of the road. At about the halfway point, that is when I realized that I hadn't taken the keys from Puneet, and I don't think that Keshaun did either. So we realized that even once we finished the 1 hour trek back to our Airbnb, we were going to have to wait outside for at least an hour or two. Overall, it was exhausting, but Keshaun and I did get to spend the time hanging out, which I can't complain too much about. Despite the slight hiccup that Keshaun and I went through, Santorini was absolutely amazing. It was by far my favorite place that we visited, and the hike is the nicest hike I've ever done.